Next.
Dr. Rubino.
Okay. All right, very good. Let's bring in our jury. Let's bring in our jury.
Yes, sir. All rise. I'll do it during the
Okay, very good. Welcome back, members of the jury. Everyone have a seat. And we are ready to proceed. Ms. Toomey, call your next witness.
The defense would call Dr. Rubino.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this cause will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Very good. You may proceed, Ms. Toomey.
Thank you, Judge. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Can you please state your full legal name for the record?
Mark Patrick Rubino.
And what do you do?
I'm an adult neurologist.
And could you give us some idea of your background, your training?
All right, well, a long time ago, I went to Northeastern Ohio University's College of Medicine, now called Northeastern Ohio Medical University, as part of a 6-year BS&D program. Means I went to my BS at Kent State and my MD in 6 years.
Okay.
And then I went on to do my transitional residency at Akron City Hospital, and then my neurology residency at USF here in Tampa.
And how long have you been practicing neurology?
26 years.
All right. And do you have any licenses?
I'm licensed in the state of Florida.
And are you in private practice?
I am.
All right. And have you ever been allowed to offer an opinion or give an opinion in the field of neurology?
Yes.
Approximately how many times?
82, 83, something like that.
In state court and federal court, or?
State and federal, yes, but all in Florida.
And doctor, what's a neurologist?
A neurologist is a doctor who is trained in disorders of the brain, spinal cord, nerve, and muscle. So I deal with everything from dementias, head injuries, Parkinson's disease, movement disorders, Huntington's disease, spine disorders, MS, seizures, peripheral neuropathy, balance problems, and unfortunately a lot of pain too.
And so then you have clinical patients that you see on a daily or weekly basis, I assume?
Yes,
And were you retained by my office in this case?
I was.
And what were you tasked with doing?
To evaluate neurologically, I think specifically because he'd had some head injuries, I was tasked to find something to order some imaging.
Okay, and did you actually meet with Davion Murphy?
I did meet with Mr. Murphy, yes.
Okay, and was that at the jail?
At the jail here in Tampa, yes.
And did you do some type of evaluation or something with him?
I
at the jail?
did a history and I did a neurological examination.
And tell us what that is. What'd you do?
A neurological examination is different than a general physical exam because it focuses on the nervous system. The first part is called mental status. Then I'll assess cranial nerves, which are the nerves coming out of your brain to your head. And then the rest of the motor system, like arms and legs. I test for motor strength, tone, sensory examination, coordination, and gait, which is the ability to walk.
I could approach the witness. Well,
Yes.
actually, Judge, I think the state would be stipulating to the introduction of Defense Exhibit 4.
We do, Your Honor, no objection.
Okay, very good. Be admitted.
Thank you. These gadgets.
You're welcome.
Is this what you're kind of talking about?
Well, this is the first part, the mental status. So I do a standardized test for the mental status called a MoCA, Montreal Cognitive Assessment. And this is how he did.
So in that first section, the visuospatial or executive functioning, what was Mr. Murphy asked to do?
He was asked to complete the trails, which is the first task on the upper left side, where you're supposed to connect the 1 to the A to the 2, and connect the rest of them in the same pattern that's been established.
And then what about the cube?
You're supposed to copy the cube.
And how did he fare on both of these tests?
He did the trails okay, but the cube was not good at all.
Okay. And then draw a clock, how do you do on that?
The clock he did okay, except the hands, he couldn't figure out exactly where the 11 went on 10 past 11.
Okay, and is there a number of points that are assessed or given to each one of these different tasks?
Yes, on the clock, the contour of the clock is a point. The numbers apart on it, that's a 2, although one can argue his spacing is off because there's a lot of space in it between the 1 and the 2 and the 2 and the 3, but I gave it to him. And the hands, that's what he failed, is the hands.
Okay. And then, looks like you got 3 out of 5 on that, points.
On naming, because he was able to name the lion, the rhinoceros, and the camel.
What I'm talking about here, the first.
Oh,
set
yeah,
of
3 out of
points?
5 on the,
3 out of 5?
Yes.
And then on the naming,
he named the animals correctly.
3 out of 3. And then the memory portion, tell us about what that is.
Memory portion is I give him the 5 words: face, velvet, church, daisy, and red. And I'll say that 3 or 4 times and have him repeat it to me. And then I'll say, I'm going to ask you these, I'm going to ask this of you in a few minutes after we do the rest of the test.
And how did you do on that?
He ended up getting 4 out of 5 right.
And then you have something here that's called attention.
Yes.
What's that for?
This is where I tell him to repeat numbers, and I'll give him the numbers. First one is forward order, and the second one is reverse order, backwards.
Okay. And the points on that one?
He couldn't get he didn't do the one that was in reverse.
Okay. And then you've got language, abstraction, delayed recall, and orientation. Is this your initial evaluation kind of thing that you do, or is this something different?
This is part of the mental status component of the neurological examination.
And do you do that in the beginning or towards the end after you?
I do that in the beginning of the neurological portion of things.
All right. What else do you do in addition to this? Is there some type of exercises with the arms and hands or something?
Well, then I test his cranial nerves.
Okay, tell us about that.
So the cranial nerve is going to be testing for the nerves that go to your face and directions of your head. Part of that is going to be oculomotor, which is the eyes. So I'll have him follow my finger as I draw an H, and I'll watch his eye movements. And his eye movements, he had some jerking in his eyes. I couldn't call it nystagmus, but it was really bizarre. I've never really seen it before, but it's abnormal.
And how did you do that test?
I draw an H and have him fall. I draw an H with my finger and have him fall, have him track my finger with his head sitting still.
So can you demonstrate for us?
Yes. Just follow my finger. convergence.
Is that similar to the horizontal gaze nystagmus test administered in DUIs, or similar?
It's going to be similar because they're looking for the same thing,
What is that?
nystagmus.
Which is?
Jerking of the eyes. There's usually a fast and slow component. It was close to nystagmus, but you had no fast and slow. It's all the same component. It's all just jerky.
Okay, and you had no reason to believe that Davion Murphy was under the influence of anything? Were you-
No, he was not. I mean, he's in jail, but I didn't think he was under the influence of anything.
And you said you've never seen that before? Is that what you said?
It was just bizarre.
Okay.
I've been looking at a lot of eyes, and I haven't seen him jerk quite like that.
But you have seen eyes that have jerked.
Yes.
And what is that a symptom of?
It's usually, it could be one of two things. One would be if he's currently experiencing vertigo, that can cause some nystagmus, but he wasn't having any vertigo. So the other thing that causes it is be disruption in the brainstem, where the ocular motor nuclei exist. There's going to be some disruption to it. And usually you see that in people with brain injury is that they don't just damage their cortex or cerebral hemispheres, they damage their whole brain.
Okay. What other kind of physical testing or examinations did you do?
Next, I assessed his motor examination,
Okay.
where I have him resist deltoids, biceps, arm, wrist flexors and extensors, and hand intrinsics, leg flexor, leg extensor, quadriceps extensor, and foot dorsiflexion. And then he had 5 out of 5 of that. He was full strength, no weakness. But when I checked his tone was elevated. Now, let me
What
explain
does that mean? You say his tone
What's
was
that mean?
elevated? Yes.
So I have him, with one arm, have him draw a circle, sort of like this, while I then work with the other hand, trying to have him relax. While he was doing this, he was unable to relax and exhibited a tone increase, and contrary to both sides. Most people, when you do that, they can relax because they're fully capable. He wasn't able to do that.
So what is that indicative of?
Upper motor neuron, basically somewhere in his brain is not working right.
Okay. Did you administer any other physical tests? And if you need to refer to your report,
Let
you're
me
more
look
than
at
welcome.
the-
Just tell me.
Let's look at this here. Then I did reflexes,
Okay.
deep tendon reflexes, which I use my reflex hammer and tap on his tendons and places.
And what did that tell you? If anything.
Well, he had normal reflexes in his arms, 2 out of 5. In his legs, in his patellas, he had 3 out of 5, but his ankle jerks were 1 out of 5. And he also had cross adductor.
A what? I'm sorry.
It's called a cross adductor.
Okay. What is that?
It's a pathological reflex.
Which means?
It means that he has an upper motor neuron problem. And basically, upper motor neuron is meaning spinal cord or brain.
Okay.
There's a problem. And the increased reflexes in patella and decreased in his ankle jerks tells me that something else is going on.
What do you mean?
Well, then I did a sensory examination, and he had sensory loss, all compatible for a polyneuropathy.
You say polyneuropathy?
Yes, polyneuropathy.
And what does that mean?
He has something going on that's causing him to develop nerve damage in his legs that eventually is going to give him numbness, tingling, and balance problems in the future.
And do you attribute that to anything?
But considering he's 5'11" and 300 pounds, I would, if I'm a betting man, he's at least pre-diabetic.
Okay. But that has nothing to do with any of the other physical examinations that you conducted.
Correct.
Did you do anything else?
I ordered MRI with DTI, NeuroQuant, and I did a CT PET.
Okay, let's talk about that.
Okay.
What's a CT PET? What is that?
A PET scan is a nuclear study. It basically, what happens is a radio-labeled sugar is administered. Well, your brain, well, it's glucose. Glucose is a type of sugar. It's the main sugar your brain uses. Matter of fact, it's the primary food your brain needs. Only other thing that uses glucose, they either use glucose or ketones in starvation, but glucose is what it uses.
Okay, so the
So-
person is injected with some kind of sugar?
It's radioactive glucose, basically.
Okay.
That's a simple way of saying it. Radio-labeled means radioactive. Medical grade. Anyhow, this is injected in the body, and they track it as it goes into the brain. They do a CT first, so they have something to map it on. That's why I call it CT PET. Otherwise, it'd just be a blob in space. So they map it onto a CT, and the parts of the brain that uses glucose is going to be the cortex. The cortex is where the neuron cell bodies exist. Neurons cell bodies give rise to axons. Axons don't use any sugar. You'll see
What's the purpose of an axon?
axon is as important as part of this neuron. Axon is the part that traverses to other
connect?
They connect synapses at the end of this axon. It's part
And
of the
communicate with other parts of the brain?
yeah, it's the wire.
The wires, okay. All right. And then, did you explain that one? The CT PET, so is that,
Well, I'm still
sorry, go ahead.
So the cortex should light up, and all the cortex should be relatively the same intensity of sugar used because it's all doing the same thing, all being used.
Okay. And then the MRI DTI?
We did an MRI and DTI. I never did get a NeuroQuant. That wasn't provided.
So tell us what an MRI DTI is.
MRI is going to be a little different. It tells us about structure. Structure would be, if you had a brain tumor, I would be able to see it. If you had a stroke, I would be able to see it. DTI is a little bit different, where it stands for diffusion tensor imaging. And this uses MRI technology to try to tease out water flow. And water flow is basically how axons show up on MRI. And if there's a hole in the axons, it'll show us a hole in the DTI.
Okay, so you ordered those two different scans for Davion Murphy.
Those are scan. Yeah, those
Those
are
scans.
two different scans.
Okay, and
MRI and CT PET.
Did you make a PowerPoint in order to go through these scans to explain your findings?
I did.
Okay, and is that the first page of your PowerPoint?
That'd be the first one. It'll be on my name and what it is.
Oh. All right, so this is the first image, and maybe,
I had some controls here, but they're gone now.
well, you got, here, if I can approach Judge. So will this assist you in helping explain what's going on in some of these images?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
So
Got no objection to its use, Judge.
Okay,
this part, this first image is a slice right about through here, to the very pretty top of it.
Go to the next one?
Well, I need. Can I have my pointer back?
Your pointer?
There's supposed to be a pointer here. It was on here, but it's gone.
Oh,
No, that was your mouse.
that was my mouse.
There it is.
Okay, but, well, that's
well,
me.
if you need to
Oh.
stand up to point something out to the jury, you can do so, okay? 'Cause
Oh. All right.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. This is very important, this scan right here. This red
Judge, can we have a question posed to the witness?
Yes, what's next question?
What does that red dot on the left side of the screen indicate to you?
That indicates that that's what brain is supposed to look like.
Okay,
The red is going to be where you get more higher glucose utilization.
okay. Is there a lot of glucose or metabolism by the brain on this image?
Right there.
Okay, what about the rest of the image?
This front is diminished, and more so the back part.
So are you saying that this red should be throughout?
This red should
Objection
be,
to leading, Your Honor.
this red should be
Sustained.
all the way around here. The blue is the myelinated fibers, that's white matter, so it's not going to be sugar. But
So-
Judge, I'm gonna object, non-responsive narrative.
What is the blue, the color, the blue colors indicate?
it's the myelinated fibers or the axons. It doesn't
Okay,
use sugar, so it's blue.
okay. So that's normal, the blue is normal.
Objection
normal.
to leading, Your Honor.
Okay, overruled, go ahead.
Is there something on the very tip there that you noticed?
That thing is a calcification along the falx. I don't think it's pertinent to anything, but theoretically, on one of the images I looked at, that you will look at later, there's some red next to it. This tells me that could be a focal seizure.
Okay,
Judge, I'm
Can
gonna
you-
object and ask to approach.
Okay. Okay, Doctor, the state just informed me that your testimony that you just gave about a potential is it focal, F-O-C-A-L?
Focal seizure.
Okay, it's brand new.
Well, when I looked at images last night, I said, what was this red for?
Yeah, well, you can't do that.
Okay.
Okay?
I take it back.
Yeah, okay, we can't really take it back, but don't do that again. So this was rather last minute, and the state had to depose you. Monday, and so you can't discuss any opinions that were not disclosed to the state,
Okay.
okay? Okay, very good. All right.
It's water.
Yeah, we'll,
Judge, can we ask for a curative instruction first to have it stricken and also to ask the jury to disregard?
the opinion about the potential of a focal seizure.
Yes, just to disregard the last answer he gave, the last response.
Okay, very good. And then we will get you some water as soon as Deputy Martinez comes back. He knows where the water is.
We have some right here at council's table.
Okay, sure.
Oh, he's got it.
Oh, okay, and then you can do the jury.
There's two in the restroom, Judge.
Okay.
Good time on their part.
Yes, sir.
You can sit down while we're waiting.
Judge, the jurors asked if the doctor can speak a little louder. They can't hear him in the back.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, and so I know when you're standing up, it is difficult because you don't have the microphone there, but just please try and project as much as you can.
Okay.
Okay? All right, thank you.
Jurors are out, Judge.
Okay, very good. Welcome back, everybody. Okay, and with regards to the last answer from this witness, it's been stricken and you all are to disregard it. Okay, very good. You may proceed.
All right, let's go to the next slide,
Well,
okay?
no, we're still gonna talk about this. I still
Oh,
have things
yes,
to
go
say.
ahead. Just speak up so that we can,
All right.
I'll hear you.
So what this looks like is a concept known as coup contra coup. It's a term in neuropathology where you have the site of impact, but when the head gets hit, the brain suffers the area where it got hit, but as the brain shifts backwards, the back part, the opposite side of the brain hits the skull, and that causes more brain damage. So coup contra coup. So we have this impairment up here, and then this vast greenness back down here, where the contra coup would be. Next
Okay.
slide.
And you, okay, we'll talk about it on a different slide. Oops. What about this slide?
It's basically the same thing.
The same thing, which is not a lot of red.
Where you have the green back here, not a lot of, it's a little almost red in here. That's relatively protected in head injury. Where the front part and the back part are all diminished sugar capacity.
And these are slices.
These are all
Post.
slices of the brain as if we're going through it this way. Axials.
And then what about this slide? And just for the record, these are the CT, the PET scans?
This is the PET scan.
Okay,
This is the most remarkable of the images I had.
okay, gotta speak up.
There's the most remarkable. Anyhow, this just shows that there's no point of where there's very little red here, just right here and right here. The rest of the whole brain is diminished, which supports intellectual disability.
So are we getting deeper and deeper? Each
Getting deeper into the brain,
each slice
yes.
is deeper into the brain.
Yes.
And what is the blue, what is that? Is that a normal amount and where it's at?
The blue is all within the center of the two halves. And that blue represents white matter, which is myelinated fibers, which is where the axons are, and don't use much sugar, if any.
Okay. So then what are we seeing in these last three images? We're seeing brain damage.
Judge, I'm gonna object to leading.
Sustain is to leading.
What do you see, doctor?
What I see is a diminished use of glucose, which may be from traumatic brain injury, but maybe something else as well. There may be more here that I don't know what happened because this is so profound.
When you say the brain damage is so profound, can you expand on that?
This is going to be from brain injury, the front and the back. That's where most of his brain injury occurred. But all this, it just seems that there could be something more than just brain injury, traumatic brain injury.
And can you just, the different lobes of the brain, and you know you have that brain that you have in your hand, can you tell us, kind of explain the different lobes of the brain and what they are responsible for?
If I could have the witness sit down if he's not.
Yeah, I can sit down. Can you sit down for us?
All right, so this model, this is the frontal lobe. This is the part of the brain that makes us, because this is where most behavior arises from. This is our planning, our decision to do right and wrong, our language, our ability to speak. It's all in the frontal lobe. Temporal lobe is going to be memory and emotion.
Can you show on the other side? I don't know if the jury can see you.
Right in here, that's temporal lobe.
Okay.
parietal lobe is going to be spatial orientation, arithmetic, a lot of things that we don't really point out in court.
Okay.
The
Fair
occipital lobe is going to be visual association cortex and vision. This is where you see and place meaning on what you see.
Okay. And so far in these images, are you able to determine whether there has been damage to any of those lobes of the brain?
Yes, all of them.
All of them? All of the lobes that you just described?
All the lobes I just discussed have impairment to them.
Okay, what about this image? I think it's the fourth one.
Same thing. It just shows this diminished glucose uptake globally in his brain.
Your Honor, if I could, can I just consult with opposing counsel real quick?
Yes?
This one right? No, you're wrong. I think that this is 5. We're wrong. Oh, that's 5. Okay. I called it because the first page is the cover page. Is this the slide we were just talking about? I believe it is. I said it was slide 4. It's actually slide 5 of 18. Maybe?
I think so. I think this is it.
Okay. And you said that this image indicated to you that all these slides, including this one, the slide 5, global brain damage.
Right. Parts of his frontal lobe, the lateral portions of his frontal lobe appear to be okay or work better than other parts of his frontal lobe. Whereas the rest of, but that's the only parts that work reasonably well.
Where, can you show us where that is? On the brain?
Where it works well? Where it works well?
Yes.
Go back a couple slides.
Oh. That's slide 3.
Well, this is where lateral frontal lobes is where it's working relatively better than the rest of his brain. PET scans be all relative.
So is that because of the red? There's
A little bit of red. There's a little bit of red mixed in there, and it's not solid. And that could be from maybe they didn't dose enough. But this is, since it's all relative, green should never be in any part of the cortex.
Okay, if you can have a seat. When you said maybe they didn't dose enough, but then you said, but you realized that that's not the issue, can you explain what you mean by that and why you came up to that opinion or conclusion?
PET scan is all relative, meaning that the cortex should be of relative similar values because it's all cell bodies of neurons that use sugar and they all use it relatively equally.
Okay, so there wouldn't be, so it would be underdosed,
It would be, if it's underdosed, it would all still look the same. It would just be all yellow
Right.
or all green.
okay.
The fact that there's some red in there means that, no, that's not the case. His brain simply didn't process the sugar.
It would have been uniform throughout the image?
Yes, uniform along the cortex.
Okay,
You still would have blue.
okay. And where's the cortex at?
Everything is not blue.
Is that what we think of as the brain?
Cortex is going to be the surface of your brain. It's what we call gray matter versus white matter.
What's the difference?
Gray matter, well, on pathology, it's gray. On pathology, white matter has got myelinated, so it's white. Cortex involves cell bodies of the neurons. White matter contains white myelinated axons.
Okay. So I think we were on, I'm going to go to slide 6.
Yes.
2 different images there. What are we looking at?
I'm just pointing out that this loss of metabolism is pervasive throughout the brain.
This loss of what? I didn't hear you.
Metabolism.
Metabolism.
Loss of metabolism is throughout the brain. It's not just frontal lobe and back. It's just,
Can you pull that microphone just a little closer to
that
you?
whole brain is impaired.
Okay. All right, and this is slide 7. What do we see here?
What we're looking at here is a coronal image. Kind of chopping through this way. And what I'm looking at here the center part here is the cingulate, anterior cingulate gyrus.
What is that?
The anterior cingulate gyrus is part of your cingulate, or is part of your limbic system. Your limbic system is your emotional system, but it's uniquely positioned in the frontal lobe because it's to do with behavior arising out of emotion. People with impaired anterior cingulates tend to act on their emotions because they have no stop sign in their brain.
I missed that last part. You said because they act on their emotion because of...
They act on their mission because they have no stop sign in their brain. There's nothing to tell them, don't do that.
Anything else on these 2 slides?
Other than just a little bit of red here and everything else reduced.
I'm going to go to slide 8. What are we looking at here?
Just more of the same of the cingulate gyrus still being here, and the rest of it is
So essentially,
Green.
it's not firing or connecting.
Objection, deleting.
It's not-
Sustainus deleting, ask your question again.
What does that mean?
it means it's not metabolizing sugar, which means there's not a whole lot of axon or not a whole lot of cell bodies using sugar, which means it's not working very well.
And what about that top right image? Oh, is that the next slide? Or no? That's the next
Yes, this
slide.
slide.
Slide 9.
All right. Now, we talked a lot about frontal lobe before. That was all frontal lobe we're talking about. Now we're talking about temporal lobe.
What's that? Where on the brain is that?
Temporal lobe is this part right here. This is temporal lobe, part of this. That's temporal lobe.
And you have I'm sorry, do you have one of those on each side of our brains?
Yes.
Okay.
We have 2 temporal lobes. And this shows those temporal lobes are basically green.
So what does that mean?
That they're not that they're not metabolizing much sugar.
And because they're not metabolizing much sugar, what does that mean?
That they're not functioning very well.
Okay, and what if anything, does that cause when those 2 lobes are not functioning well?
If your anterior temporal lobes do not function well, it usually means that you don't process emotion very well. And when you combine that, you cannot process emotion very well with that anterior cingulate I was just talking about, how you can't have a stop sign for bad emotion. It usually leads to people doing things out of emotion that is not usually good.
All right, slide 10. What is that? Same thing? Just deeper into the brain?
Slide 10 shows me that right there is almost blue, and it's supposed to be cortex.
It's supposed to be brain, or,
It's supposed to be cortex, not
okay.
axons, it's cortex.
Which means what?
That it is barely eating any sugar, and it's barely working at all.
And if that part is not working at all, what does that equate to?
Emotional regulation.
All right, slide 11. It looks like we have a PET scan and then an MRI to the right.
No, it's a CAT scan.
CAT scan? Okay. Sorry.
Over here, the blue extends out to here. And the reason I included the CAT scan is you can see that there's brain over here. There's cortex over there.
So what does that mean?
It just doesn't work.
So those two slides correlate to one another.
Objection, deleting.
Sustain as to leading.
How do those, why do you put those two images on this?
Because it's the same
One page.
section showing you that there's brain there, it just doesn't work. And this is a chrono view of the same
Slide
thing.
12. Sorry, go ahead.
This is a chrono view, meaning the slice this way, but through the temporal lobes, showing that blue right there,
Right where?
right where I'm pointing,
I know, but what is it called?
temporal lobe.
Okay.
It's the same image I was shown before, just a different view of it, to show that this is not just a optical delusional. This is real. This is a abysmal function in that temporal lobe.
All right, slide 13. What are we looking at?
All right, now this is MRI DTI.
And what, if anything, do we see on this slide?
Well, let me try to explain
Sure.
what this is.
This is 13.
This is a representation of diffuser tensor imaging. What the sequence on the left indicates is intact water flow. When there's a gyrus or a sulcus, when the brain has involutions,
Can you show us on the,
I don't know if anyone can see this,
okay,
but the brain has a bunch of divots in it, and et cetera. Those divots are called sulcuses, and the areas that are raised are called gyruses.
the area of the what?
The areas that are raised are called gyruses.
I still didn't get you.
The areas that are raised are called gyruses.
Oh, gotcha, okay.
And the areas that are lower are called sulcuses,
Okay,
or sulci.
okay.
That's actually gyri is the correct way of saying it. All right. Anyhow, let me project right.
Want me to go to the next slide?
Well, I'll try to make it work, but it's hard to see. But maybe it's better on your screen so what I can see. But like this little hole, there's like these holes all over the place. Most of them are supposed to be there because the brain has natural crevices. There's not going to be any axonal flow over areas of space. So it's going to create a whole illusion. But right here, nothing right there, there's nothing. There's no sulci, there's no division. That's in the middle of the brain, middle of the frontal lobe. That's the left frontal lobe that has axonal damage to it.
You said it's called a hole. Are you saying that there's a hole in the brain, or you're saying
There's a disruption of axonal flow
which produces a hole
on the image, yes.
on the image? Okay. In the frontal lobe.
This is the left frontal lobe.
I'm sorry, left?
Left frontal lobe, yes.
Okay. And why is that significant?
Well, part of it is one of his frontal lobes is showing it abnormal on the DTI. But you have two frontal lobes, so typically you need both frontal lobes to be impaired to be really impaired.
All right, slide 14. What are we looking at here?
Same thing right here, but maybe a continuation of the one that we just saw.
So we shouldn't be seeing a dark image on that area of that slide where you pointed, the upper right.
No, we should not be. Possibly even one of these down here might be also included, but we're not really focusing on that.
And why is that?
We're not focusing on it because it has nothing to do with behavior.
Okay. That deals with something else.
Yes. Some other cognition that he's deficient in.
Okay, slide 15. What is this? Just different sections. Just, I guess we're getting closer to the top of the brain.
Yeah, let me see. Here, this one is here. But also, on the flare sequence, there's this white patch right below the cortex in the white matter, which represents scar tissue in the brain.
Okay, how does one get scar tissue in the brain?
Traumatic brain injury.
Okay, can you point to that again for us, please?
It's right there, but this screen is not showing it very well. You need to look at your own screens where I'm pointing.
We have 15.
Yes. All right, now we're at slide 16. What is this?
This is the right frontal lobe. So both frontal lobes have some axonal damage to them.
Anything else?
Okay, move on.
All right, slide 17.
Now we're revisiting the PET scan again in that temporal lobe where it was so diminished. Here we have a hole right over here. Here we have, there was brain there, and there, for the next slide, there's no function there. Same spot, two different studies, that temporal lobe is damaged.
Okay, so I'm going to go back to slide 17. Can you point one more time? That same area we're looking at?
Right there. Right in the right temporal lobe, which is on the left side of the image, because left and right differences in radiology. We have that same area.
And that's 19, Council?
This is 18.
Oh, 18.
And you point to that area because it's mostly blue or green? Or
It has both
what?
blue and green in it, but it's supposed to be at least a yellow or an orange.
All right, so based upon you can sit down. Based upon your evaluation of these images, and do you look at images? Are you qualified to look at and review images? Isn't that something that you do as a neurologist?
Yes, I look at a lot. I look at a lot of brains.
And based upon your review of the PET,
CT PET.
CT PET, and the MRI, DTI scans, do you have an opinion to a reasonable degree of medical certainty?
Yes,
What is it?
that Davion Murphy suffers from traumatic brain injury with damage particularly to his frontal lobe, occipital lobe, and temporal lobes, which can affect his behavior.
And there's no way of determining when this injury occurred, or when these injuries, it looks like, it sounds like to me that there's multiple impacts of some sort.
Objection, the lady.
Sustained. Rephrase.
Is there any way to put a time frame on this brain damage?
No, there's only, all it tells us what it is now, or actually last week, because the scans are not that old.
Is this something, well, no, you saw the scar tissue. How long does it take for scar tissue to develop in the brain?
The scar tissue takes a lot more time. If it was acute, if it was like in the last couple weeks, it would show up more as a signal on DWI, which is a stroke indicator. When there's acute damage, it shows up on DWI. The DWI is normal. Matter of fact, the rest of the brain appeared normal except for the white matter lesion I showed and the DTI.
And how, if any, could you treat a patient that has similar damage?
How do you treat?
Yeah.
Typically by,
I mean, is there a treatment, I guess? I don't know.
I mean, usually, sometimes you use low-dose treatments for attention deficit disorder, but he already has attention deficit disorder and doesn't do well on stimulants. I think the best option for him is a structured environment.
I'll pass the witness.
Okay, Ross?
No.
Yes, please. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Doctor, we just spoke a couple of days ago. Your deposition was taken on Monday.
Yes.
Okay. And you found out, I believe you said Friday or Saturday, that you would be testifying in this case?
I found on Friday or Saturday, whenever I got the scans, and I reviewed them, and if they were negative, I wasn't going to be testifying because I had nothing to say, but unfortunately, I had to cancel some of my day in my office to be here. I was hoping not to find anything. I was hoping it'd be a normal scan, but it wasn't. And I
Okay,
had,
so is that a yes or a no?
no, yeah,
Okay. When I took your deposition on Monday,
yes,
you had told me you had just found out. When I asked you that, you said I found out Friday or Saturday that I would be testifying.
I found out when I got the scans. Yes,
Okay. And the scans were just taken last week, correct?
yes,
All right. Now, you were a practicing radiologist. You have a clinical practice, correct?
no, I'm a practicing neurologist.
I'm sorry, neurologist. In fact, you're not a radiologist, correct?
I'm not a radiologist, correct?
Right. And radiologists will frequently examine MRI scans, like these, well, these are PET scans, but some of those were MRI DTI scans. They will utilize those as a diagnostic, correct?
Yes,
in your clinical practice as a neurologist, you see patients, and I think you talked about some of the types of patients you see.
Yes,
You see MS patients, correct?
yes,
People for pain management,
yes,
people that have, I'm trying to remember the first term, neuropathy.
polyneuropathy,
I'm sorry, poly, did you say poly?
yeah, polyneuropathy,
I was thinking more like neuropathy in the hands or the feet or the lower legs. That's something that is common in people that have diabetes.
yes, carpal tunnel syndrome,
Carpal tunnel
neuropathy.
can cause it in the hands.
Yes,
You also see people with seizure
Yes.
issues, epileptic
yes,
patients. And these are people, if I understand right, in a clinical setting, they come to your office because they're having an issue, they're having a problem, correct?
correct,
And they present to you, you do your examination, whatever it is. I'm assuming on a lot of these patients, you're going to be doing a neurology examination similar to what you did with Mr. Murphy, correct?
yes,
And then you're going to assess their symptoms and you're going to treat them, correct?
yes.
But this isn't one of those situations, correct?
No, this is simply, he's not my patient, he's a client.
Yes, and that was my next question. Davion Murphy's not your patient, he's your client, correct?
Correct,
His attorneys have retained you to give forensic consultation, correct?
Correct.
All right. And that's a practice that you've maintained now for what, 15, 20 years?
15 years.
15 years, okay. And in your forensic or medical legal consultation, you have consulted on civil cases too, correct? Not just criminal.
Yes,
And in civil cases, I believe you told me Monday that the majority of the cases that you've consulted on over the years was personal injury, like motor vehicle accidents?
prior to a couple years ago, I saw a lot of people who are in car accidents,
Car accidents, okay.
back injury, neck injuries, but I did a lot of concussion because I kind of focused on concussion.
And that, the civil practice has been kind of modified based on changes in the law, you were telling me in your deposition?
Yes, now if you get into a car accident, you better have health insurance because PIP, it gets exhausted very quickly, and attorneys just can't take you on if you have no insurance.
Right.
And then you can't get health care.
As a consulting physician, you're going to have problems getting paid for your services if you work those cases, correct?
Right, I run the risk of not being paid at all.
Right, because there's no longer letters of protection, I think you told me.
Correct.
But you have consulted in criminal matters, and you have consulted in capital murder cases like this, correct?
That's correct.
And you have come in front of juries like you're doing today, where the defendant or client that you're testifying on behalf of has been found guilty and convicted of first-degree murder, and you've come in to present mitigation, correct?
Yes,
And in this instance, when you met with the defendant, you made it clear to him the purpose for why you were meeting with him, right?
yes.
And to make sure he understood why you were there, correct?
I don't think he thought I was going to treat him, but yes.
Yeah, you weren't there to treat him, you were
Right.
there to examine him to develop potential mental health or other mitigation, correct?
Correct.
Okay. I want to talk to you real quick about the examination. You said that you detected a nystagmus or a jerking in the eyes, correct?
Correct.
Now, did you have access to his jail medical records at that time?
I don't have any of his jail records.
Okay. You don't have any of those?
Correct.
All right. So you don't know what type of medications he may be currently being prescribed or was prescribed or taking on that day? Is that right?
He told me what he was taking. He thinks he was on Remeron and Buspar,
And what are those?
psychiatric drugs.
Okay. Can you spell those for me?
Remeron, Remeron,
R-E-M what?
Remeron.
Okay.
And Buspar, Buspar.
Buspar, okay. Now, are you aware of either of those medications being utilized to treat anxiety or depression? Are you familiar with them?
Buspar is used to treat anxiety.
Okay. There are some medications that can cause nystagmus, correct?
Yes.
And that would include a class of drugs known as tranquilizers.
Tranquilizers is a broad category of medication, not a class of medication.
Right.
Does it mention which class?
I'm sorry?
Does it
Wait,
mention
hold
what
on,
class?
Wait, stop. What's the objection?
He's getting into the psychiatry cases, not necessarily,
Well, if he knows, he can answer, because we're talking, I think he's getting into the HGN or the possible reasons why. So go ahead.
Are you aware of the fact that certain medications such as barbiturates or tranquilizers, whatever type of drugs may fall into that, may cause jerkiness in the eyes or nystagmus?
Well, barbiturates clearly can.
I'm sorry, what you called it nystagmus, correct?
Nystagmus, I didn't call it nystagmus, I call it jerking the eyes, but
Jerking the eyes.
same difference.
Okay.
Abnormal eye movements.
All right.
Alcohol can cause them.
Oh, obviously, it's
That's
used
what we
in
do.
DUI
So certain
defense.
sedatives
I'm
can,
sorry.
One at a time.
Yeah, we need to try to not talk
Okay.
over each other. Go ahead, you were saying,
certain sedatives can do it. Buspirone not a sedative.
okay? What about the other one?
Remeron has some sedating qualities, but is an antidepressant. I don't think I would call it a tranquilizer, call it an antidepressant.
Okay. So, but it does have a sedative quality, you said?
Yes, but it's not going to be a barbiturate or alcohol or one of those things that can cause nystagmus.
But it also includes tranquilizers, correct? Sedatives.
Certain classes of sedatives. It's not going to be everything because it has to have some effect on. Because I know benzos are sedatives and it doesn't cause it.
Benzodiazepine?
Yeah, like diazepam, lorazepam,
Right.
those don't cause nystagmus.
But you had given multiple reasons for that, including, I think you said MS can potentially cause it, strokes can cause it.
Nystagmus?
Yes. Or did you not
Yes,
say
those,
that?
anything that causes interruption in the midbrain can cause nystagmus. So MS, stroke, central pontine myelinolysis.
But certain medications can also cause it, correct?
Yes, like butalbital, like barbiturates, alcohol.
When you were retained in this case and the work that you have done, are you being reimbursed for that?
Yes,
Okay. And can you tell the jurors at what rate per hour you're being reimbursed?
I get reimbursed for $400 an hour.
Okay. And is
Which
that,
is-
yeah, go ahead.
That's roughly how much I bill out when I'm in my office, where I'm not right now.
All right. So $400 an hour for working on the case?
Yes.
$400 an hour when you traveled up here to see the defendant? And
No, when I drive, I only charge $200 an hour, because sometimes I'm not going to be doing it during working hours.
okay, so you're charging $200 an hour for your travel time?
Yes,
And then once you arrived here at the Hillsborough County Jail and you met with the defendant and conducted your evaluation of him, you're charging $400 an hour again?
while I'm in the jail, yes.
Yes. And then you're charging $400 an hour today for your testimony?
Yes,
Have you submitted invoices yet?
not yet.
Do you have an accumulated number of hours that you've worked on this case?
Well, when I met with you in my deposition, I was about 4,000, but since then I'm probably closer to 6,000 now.
Okay. And, okay, so you think you're up to about $6,000 of charged work?
I think so, yes.
Now, you work, as we were talking about earlier, you have consulted on other capital cases, correct?
Yes,
To present testimony in a penalty phase such as this, right?
correct.
And you've come in and testified in these settings before, is that right?
That's right.
How many times do you think you may have done that over the last 15 years of your consulting business?
Death penalty cases mitigation,
Yes.
around 50 times roughly.
And all those times, have you been retained by the state or the prosecution?
I've been retained by defense.
And in civil cases, you've testified for both plaintiffs and defendants?
Yes,
Now, in this case, you have read Dr. Eisenstein's report, is that correct?
that's correct.
You were provided numerous records, correct? In this case, in a big, large digital download?
Yes,
I believe in your depot, you described it as a dump.
yes.
A
that would
dump
be
of
correct.
records.
A dump of
Okay.
records.
But you have not been provided with Tampa Police Department police records, correct?
No, just the record of filing the charges.
So you've not received any police reports, and I believe in your deposition, you told me you were looking for it, but you haven't found anything like that.
Correct.
Okay. So that would include not receiving any audio-video interviews of Mr. Davion Murphy, is that correct?
That is correct.
Now, using PET scans like this, CT PET scans, you have used that, but when you have, you've used it in a clinical setting for Alzheimer's patients, correct?
Use it mostly to differentiate between Alzheimer's disease and frontal temporal dementia.
And dementia, okay. And those are two different things, right?
Yes.
And in this case, you did not prepare a report, is that correct?
I did not prepare a report.
DTI MRIs, like the few MRI scans that we saw.
Yes.
And correct me, is it scan or is it image? What is the right term?
The individual picture is an image. The whole thing's a scan.
It's a scan, okay. And both of these technologies, PET and MRI, are taking images that are basically slices of the brain in different planes.
Correct.
DTI MRI that we saw and you talked about earlier, I believe you indicated to me that you do not use that in your practice anymore because you don't do as much personal injury, is that correct?
Correct. Insurance does not cover it.
You have one moment, Your Honor.
Yes.
I have no other questions. Thank you, sir.
Okay, redirect.
You weren't just retained last week, right?
Well, no, I was retained in first week of March.
All right. And would you work on behalf of the state if they asked you?
Objection.
Oh, what's the legal basis?
Relevance.
Overruled, go ahead, you can answer.
I never worked for the state because they never asked me.
And if you were provided police reports, interviews, videos, would that change your opinion today?
No, it would allow me to see what he did and explain his behavior based on what I see, but since I don't know what he did, all I can explain is predicted behavior and his limitations.
Fair enough. Thank you.
Okay,
I just need to. I'm gonna introduce the thumb drive into evidence, Judge.
okay.
And those are all the questions I have.
Am I excused?
Hold on one second. And that, what exhibit will that be?
That's going to be, is it 4? Sorry, 3, exhibit 3.
Okay, as to defendant Davion Murphy. Okay, very good. Any objection?
No, Your Honor, no
Okay.
objection.
May this witness be excused?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. You're free to go. Ms. Toomey, come up here real quick. And Mr. Harmon. Okay, very good. And what is the name of your next witness? Ms. Toomey?
Winston Murphy?
Okay, and so, and you also have direct, so how that's gonna work is, Ms. Toomey will do her direct of the witness, then you will do your direct of the witness, Mr. Hernandez, and then the state will cross. And then you guys will do your redirect.
Yes, Your Honor, I do have one matter that I want to address the court on.
Yep,
Oh, and also, if you would read the
I
stipulation.
will. I
Okay.
was,
I have been advised, I have lost a witness, but gained a witness that
I
has
see
not
you've
been.
got 2 more witnesses via Zoom, Hazel Dickerson and Jamila Murphy.
Yes, Your Honor. Jamila Murphy has been previously listed as a witness.
Okay,
We had also a Shaheem Murphy that was listed, but apparently we've lost her.
okay,
On the other hand, my mitigation specialist had advised me that an aunt now who has not wanted to testify now wants to testify, and she's on Zoom. Her name is Hazel Dickerson. Will be testifying about the same things. Nothing new. Just simply an aunt's perspective on what she knows about Mr. Rashad Murphy. I'm asking that we be allowed to call her, but I acknowledge the fact that we were not able to get her on board before, and she was not deposed.
okay. Well, the state obviously needs to talk to her before you call her, so.
Judge, if I could inquire, I do know that we did take the depo of Shaheem, and I think Jamila was listed, but I thought that she did not show up. Is that correct? And that you took her off at one point? I don't know if we talked to her either.
I don't have a recollection at this point. I know I had listed her, but I never took her off the list. But again, it's
So
irrelevant.
here's the deal. You guys have to sort all that out, and so at the end of the day, I'm gonna let the state talk to both of them via Zoom, and then if there's a problem, you let me know. Otherwise, you're gonna have to, tomorrow morning appear via Zoom, okay? Okay, all right. So if anyone needs to use the restroom, it's probably a good time, so, okay?
What's the name